set of videos are going to explain what he really did. So of course, I thought he just okay, he got his stuff and he went up the street, to his mom's. Well, not up the street. She just lived on a hill, with his U-Haul, and he left. That's not what. That's not where it ended. It really got bad on his part.
Ooh,
And I'll kind of give more context to it. But no, he did act
what y'all
calm,
trying
but
to
it
say?
was the
Hold on.
calm
Okay.
before the real
Do
storm.
not do what I do.
And that's to come when I
Okay.
provide a little more context to it. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and just say that that's not how it ended. It wasn't as calm as it may sound because he took a U-Haul and just got a couple of things. So, did you go back and hang out with the guy? So, the guy, I will continue to call him Guy. He was calling my phone. He was texting me a lot. He was trying to make me go back to him. I guess at this point he realized that now it's the time for me to really make the decision. So he was calling me a lot, texting me. Now I was at my husband's mom's house because he had the U-Haul truck up there. So I was ignoring the calls and stuff. And I'm not going to get to the part yet of me going back, or if I didn't or anything like that, I will just say that he didn't leave me alone that exact day. He did continue to call. Eventually, I did respond, and I'll let you know about that as well. But that okay. So now I'm gonna tell a little more about the story and how he handled it for real. So I left off where he kind of just walked out of the house and he took the kids and I left a little after. Like I said, it was probably an hour or two. And I knew he was going to be at his mom's house. So, well, I didn't know, but I decided, let me just go check there because that's usually when we used to argue, like in the beginning of our relationship, that's like always where he went. He was just with his mom. It's his comfort zone, of course. So anyways, I'm at his mom's house still, and the kids are there, and I'm talking to his mom about like the situation. Like I said, she doesn't really know what's going on. He really didn't give her too much context, and we both agreed that we really wouldn't do that if we were arguing. We didn't want a lot of like friends and family to know. So while I'm talking to her, we're just having a conversation, and he ends up leaving. Battery low. Have the authority to. I felt at that time I didn't have the authority to say, "Hey, where are you going?" So I kind of just let him do his thing and take the car that
My name is Alana. I'm 46 years old, and I want to share with you the biggest game changer that allowed me to become this woman today. Long before the decline is visible in the petals, much like our skin, it already started in the stem, like our spine. Most of my life, I lived at an accelerated aging rate. From the time I was 18 all the way till 40. And then from 40 on, I became full bloom. Why is that? It's because I accessed my spine in a way that I never had my entire life. Past 40, I decided to become a contortionist. Everyone told me I would never be able to, and that I was too old for it. But I dared to do it anyway, and I'm glad I did. I want you to think of beauty procedures as the icing on the cake. But did it ever occur to you to treat a wilted rose with glue and paint and sew it and maybe cut it? But that's how women are fighting against aging with more beauty weapons. They may help a little bit, but they will never go as deep as into the source, and that's what I'm talking to you about. The spine is the power switch to every organ, and it determines how well the supply of youth is circulating through your body. So if you'd like to learn more on how to access your greatest youth potential from the spine, I invite you to click on the Learn More button. And I want you to see what my women are achieving, even past their 50s and 60s. So click on the Learn More button, and I'll see you there. I am a longtime member of Alana's Method. I'm 48 years old, and I feel like I'm in my 30s. The weight becomes mine. Your fat becomes mine. And I don't even consider this working out. That's not what this is.
We don't do any crunches. We don't do any sit-ups. We don't do any squats.
There's no more treadmill. There's no more diets. There's no more looking for the next thing.
What Alana has created is a masterpiece. I've seen a huge difference in my body. I have so much wrinkles in my neck. I'm 60, but hey, look at this. It's amazing. I just feel so blessed that I found this and that I have the tools now. I know how to fix myself now. I get compliments also still all the time.
I have 20-year-olds chasing me. I tell them I took their mother, they don't believe me.
I did a full split on my third split class. A full split. I haven't done one since I was 7 years old and I'm nearing 40. If you are a woman on this planet, you need to take Ilana's class.
Old Spice Fiji gives me 24/7 freshness. It's gentle on my skin, and it's mine.
Thought we had no secrets.
Babe, I just wanted something for me.
That's why I got all this Old Spice Fiji. For me.
I thought we had no secrets.
So, he left, and I didn't want to be there too much longer, like hanging out. And his mom said that she would keep the kids. She didn't feel comfortable with me taking them or him taking them even. So I ended up leaving, and I went to the gas station, to get myself something to drink, just regular little gas station stuff. I know that my tire pressure was low on my left side, I remember, and then I had to put gas in the car because I was going to be probably driving around for a little bit. I didn't really know where I was going to go at that point, but I knew that I didn't want to go home because him and the kids weren't there. I didn't want to stay at his mom's house. And I didn't decide yet if I wanted to go back to Guy for that night. So I decided, let me just go fill the tank up, get myself some snacks, and I'll probably do like the ride around, listen to music like I used to do back in the days. So I'm at the gas station, and usually when we went to put gas in the car and we fill it up, who wants to go put $5? I mean, whatever, to each their own. So I swiped my card at the pump. I'm paying at the pump, and it kept saying like the card's not working. Our credit limit, so I knew I definitely do have the funds available to be able to fill the car up. So I go inside and I'm like, oh, the pump is not working. She said to try to do it there. So I tried to pay inside. So I didn't use the credit card to pay for like the snacks or whatever. I just used a regular debit card. But I tried to use the credit card to pay for the gas to fill it up. So I told them put 60 on pump 4. I think it was pump 4. Don't hold me to that. And he had canceled my card. So I grabbed another credit card and I'm like, okay, let me just try a different one. If I'm thinking he canceled the card, he wouldn't think to cancel them all. I don't know what I was thinking at that time, but I was like, let me try a different card, one of the other credit cards. They all declined as well. So I found myself in a stuck position. Of course, it was understandable. Great, you canceled all the credit cards. So I ended up going into the car and calling all the credit card companies and trying to see what happened. Like, why are the cards declining? And also was just wanting to confirm what I obviously knew. And he did. He removed me as an authorized user. I no longer had access to use his credit cards. It was 2 or 3 of them. It was 3. So I went back in with my debit card and I tried to use that. Our debit our bank account is a joint account. So because he left so smoothly, just, took the U-Haul and only got what was rightfully his and what, it was fine. Whatever he took, it was fine. I didn't think that there was going to come more stuff was going to come. So I didn't expect that now our joint account was going to be affected. However, when I went back in, I wasn't able to buy anything else with my debit card, which, like I said, it's a joint account. It's both of our funds. Now the debit card is declining. So at this point, I'm pissed. I'm like, this is my money too. What the fuck? Why the fuck can't I use my own money, my debit card? He took everything out of our bank account. So, like I said, the whole time when I was at Guy's house, I was nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not reacting how he said he would. He's just leaving. But the first thing, he took all of my funds availability away. I had nothing. I think my tank was probably close to half the tank. So I had nothing. I had no money. None of the credit cards were working. So my only option was either to go to Guy's house, or I could decide to drive around with what I have, or I can just say fuck it and go home. So I decided, I guess the best thing to do because of everything that happened was to go home. And that's what I did. I wasn't far from home. I ended up going to the house. Why did I go to the house? When I pulled up to the house, Anthony was there, and Guy's car was there. I found it weird because Guy stopped calling and texting me like he was when I was at Anthony's mom's house. He wasn't bothering me as much. And then, Anthony leaves, and now all of a sudden I'm not getting any more calls. I'm not getting any more text messages.
Play Joy.
So I go to our house, and like I said, in the driveway was Anthony's car and Guy's car. The house wasn't lit up like they were, in the house. All I could notice was that the kitchen light was on. And my heart dropped because I'm like, oh my gosh, is he handling it how he said he was going to handle it? You know how I said he was going to handle it. So I open my door and I get out the car and I go to grab the door handle.
Never do this with an eyeliner.
And the door was already kind of opened a little bit. I don't know why they didn't close it, but the door was a little open and I can see them both standing by the island in the kitchen. And it was loud. They were talking very loudly. So I kind of was standing there to hear and be nosy and hear what they were talking about.
They were talking about, girl.
My husband was being very aggressive. Anthony ended up going up to him super close to his face. He was really in his face. And Guy is not like a small guy. I feel like him and Anthony are kind of the same size. So neither of them were backing down. I don't know if it's because, they know each other. They're friends, right? But I can see that my husband did have protection, I would say. I don't want to say, specifically what it is, but he was protected. So at this point, I'm super nervous. I ended up going into the kitchen and I'm just like, okay, this is something we all should be talking about. We're all adults. And it wasn't just Guy's problem. It was mine as well. So Anthony just kind of pushed me off. He didn't hit me. He pushed me off to the side and told me to shut the fuck up and let him handle it like a man. And of course, I just kind of stepped off and sat there and let them continue on with the conversation. But I was getting pissed by what was being communicated between the both of them. Okay, y'all. So, I was standing there in the kitchen, and Guy and my husband were getting into a kind of an elevated conversation. They were saying stuff that didn't need to be said. So I did end up, contacting the authorities and having them come in to kind of just de-escalate the situation and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere and, just make sure everything was okay. So they did end up coming, and they ended up taking or having Anthony leave. So we're at my house, and yes, he had to leave the house. Anthony ended up leaving, and everybody else also left with him. And Guy and I decided that he was gonna stay with me because it was a lot to, kind of just grasp everything that happened in just this day. So Guy did decide, it would be best if he stayed, and I was fine with that. So we both stayed at my house.
Let's fuel up, Limu. Lots of people to tell about customizing and saving with Liberty Mutual. But those are mine.
Cassie,
Why did you leave me?
why did you betray your own heart? Wuthering Heights, rated R, February 13th.
So Guy did end up telling me some stuff, that he felt I should know. I guess since he was heated, it was like, okay, that was my friend, but since, he wants to act like that, I don't know what his point was, but this is what I was thinking in my head. So now I'm gonna get all the tea on what, he knows about my husband, which obviously was one of his best friends. So he starts telling me just some stuff, like little things that I had suspicions of, but never had like solid proof or evidence. Like I never asked Guy about it because, that's not even his place. But so he started telling me things that I had suspicions about. So he kind of confirmed them for me. Like, my husband just talking to other women and just things that made the whole reaction that my husband had, it made it make sense at that point to me. Because I'm like, like I said, he always said that if I did something and he caught me, it would be out of control. However, Guy kept feeding me more and more tea.
Oh, and this one guy was coming at you like it was.
It was hurting me. So he told me. So Guy ended up telling me about a situation that I had no suspicion of at all. I guess, he didn't have a suspicion of me, but I had no suspicions of at all. So we ended up putting on like just some music in the background, and I remember having the fireplace like on YouTube just playing. There was no like sound or anything coming from the YouTube, but we did have music on in the background. And I can tell that Guy could see that I was trying to reach out to Anthony because I was trying to contact my husband and see where he was, what he was doing, was he okay? I wanted to make sure that like nothing happened once they made him leave the house. But he wasn't responding to me. He wasn't answering my text messages. He wasn't answering my calls. He was literally just ignoring me. And I was getting a bit like sad or like bothered by it because I wanted to know where he was going. I wanted to see, what he had going on. And he wasn't responding. So Guy could see that I was trying to, not contact, but he's seen that I was very like involved in my phone. I was just paying my phone so much attention. So I'm sure that he kind of put two and two together that I was trying to reach out to my husband, which I can tell bothered him, but at that moment,
Yes,
like with
yeah.
everything that happened for the day, I just felt like it was necessary. I felt like I needed to check in on my husband. And I wasn't getting a response for some. So Anthony's not answering any of my text messages. And Guy can kind of tell, of course, that I'm bothered. So I don't know if the next piece of information he gave me is because he can tell this and he wanted me to be solely focused on him. But it was a bomb. It was a real bomb. Like, it was a heart bomb. It was really painful. So anyways, he ends up telling me about this person that we all know, a mutual part of, you know, our circle of friends. I wouldn't say friends, but like our mutual circle of people we know. She's probably been like just kind of around for like 7 years that I can count. And Guy ended up saying that, you know, he kind of hinted that he tried to say without saying that there was something going on. So of course I tried to pry it out of him. I'm like, you know, what's the... So he ended up, you know, just telling me, hey, you know, she's actually been dealing with Anthony, and that's why she's been around. So that's why we go around her, you know, and her kid. Like I said, we also have children together, and they're smaller. So she has a 4-year-old that, you know, we bring around. And Guy ends up telling me, you know, they've been dealing with each other for... So we're having the conversation, and he's breaking it down about little pieces of time that my husband was away in Alabama, and there was a time he said that his phone broke. There was like this crazy storm, and there was a big puddle in front of the hotel that he was supposed to stay at, and his phone fell into it and it broke. I was calling the hotel. They weren't, I mean, he wasn't answering the hotel phone. He wasn't answering his phone. It was going straight to voicemail. So Guy ended up releasing to me at this time that it was because he was with this girl. Putting 2 and 2 together. So I'm like, okay, this is why. This was the calmness. This makes so much sense. Like, it makes so much freaking sense. So then Guy did say, like, did she ever tell you about, like, her daughter? Her daughter's 4 years old. Like, did she ever tell you, you know, like, where she came? Like, did you ever meet the father of her daughter? Like, he never comes around. He was just kind of, like, asking me questions about the daughter. So I've never been suspicious of this child that's been coming around, or this girl that's been coming around. But Guy was kind of hinting like there's something I should be questioning when it comes to her 4-year-old. Mind you, remember, we've been here 7 years. I've never seen a guy around, and she did give me some crazy story about how she ended up with her daughter, and I didn't question it because I didn't care. And I never seen like a guy, like there was never a guy around. So he's trying to kind of hint something to this, I can tell. So now that he's raised my suspicion on this girl, of course, you know, I had her phone number. So first I tried to call Anthony to try to get a little more explanation on all the details that I just found out that Guy has told me about this girl. Now, don't exclude the fact that there's more. It wasn't just her. There were way more. And I'm finding all this out. So, but this one was a little more intense because it wasn't just a hit and quit type of situation. There was possibly something that came out of it.
The friend trying
So,
to, when a friend trying to holler,
I try to call
you
him
gotta
first, of
know.
course, try to call my husband. He's not answering his phone. I
Friends be there
try to
getting
text him.
mad.
He's not responding. Eventually, it was started to go to voicemail, and none of my texts were going through. They weren't saying delivered. They were just, kind of like someone had you blocked. So I tried to call him blocked, and it wasn't going through, which made me feel like maybe his phone died. He's like a person who doesn't really care about charging his phone or anything like that. So I was just like, oh, okay. Kind of felt a sense of relief, like, his phone died. That's why he's not responding to me. He's not responding to me because he just doesn't want to talk to me. His phone is just dead.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us at our next webinar where you can drill deeper into our bond offering. We currently offer 2 investment opportunities, a private placement bond offering for accredited investors with target annual interest rates between 9 and 13%. Also, we offer a registered bond offering open to both accredited and non-accredited investors with rates ranging from 9 to 12%. Our daily production rates have risen as high as 39,000 barrels of oil per day. We've sold more than 10 million barrels, and we're just getting started. Sign up for the webinar and start your journey with Phoenix Energy today.
So because he wasn't answering, I decided, well, let me go ahead and try to call her. Guys just sitting there calling his over on his phone, scrolling down his TikToks, while I'm over here pacing back and forth trying to figure out, what's coming out of that situation now. So I called her. Her phone rang, but she wasn't picking up the phone. I called her again. Still no answer. I tried a third time. On the third time, she did answer the phone. When she did answer, I tried to just act like there was nothing to there's no reason for my call. I'm just checking in. So I'm like, hey, what are you doing? However, it was really quiet and she was acting a bit weird. So in my mind, in that moment, I'm trying to, I feel like my mind was putting 2 and 2 together. Like, okay, his phone is off. I thought it died. And she wasn't answering the phone. She's acting weird. It's super quiet. I don't even hear her 4-year-old in the background. And it wasn't, it just wasn't the normal scenario or situation that I normally have when I talk to her. So, I asked her, how's your daughter doing? And she awkwardly is responding to my questions. And I came flat out and I asked her, hey, I've heard some stuff about you and my husband. Is there something that, you feel like I should know? So her response to that was, no. There's nothing. Well, I asked her what was going on with her and my husband. And she just said nothing. There's nothing. So I told her about what I heard, and she said, of course, that God was lying. And then I asked her about her daughter, and I don't think that her daughter looks like my husband, at all. But
You telling me that
you never fucking know these days with kids. So she kind of felt disrespected by that and was fine with taking a DNA test, the lie detector. She was bringing up all the things she can do to prove that, nothing went on with her and my husband. So I asked her, I was like, he there? Because I'm calling his phone and he's not answering. You weren't answering. And, I just flat out asked her, is he there? She said no. So after a couple minutes, anyways, I didn't know whether to believe her or not because I don't really know her. Like I said, we didn't really have like a real like tight ass friendship. It was more so like, just kid stuff like we were with Guy. But yeah, that was how that rumor that he tried to start, that was how that ended. Nothing too dramatic. So I don't know if anything else he told me at this point was true, and he did tell me some other stuff. So I was a bit annoyed because, like I said, I don't know what to believe at this point now because, I don't really know her, and Guy has really been around so long with Anthony, but then I don't know, or didn't know at that point what his intentions were with telling me, this type of information. So I had to take everything he said with a grain of salt. So then he ended up telling me about the story about a time when my husband was in Alabama and I was trying to reach my husband. We had just got off the phone, so probably about 2 hours later before I went to bed, I was trying to give him a call. And his phone was going straight to voicemail. He was at a hotel at this point because he went on a work trip. And he wasn't answering the phone. So now, mind you, I didn't tell Guy any of this. But he said, remember that time when your husband was in Alabama and you were trying to call him, but it was going straight to voicemail. The girl who I just got off the phone with was in Alabama with him. So that kind of validated it for me that she was lying because, like I said, I didn't tell Guy about the Alabama story. But he also gave more detail what happened that night. And what happened is I tried to call the hotel. I even had one of my friends try to call the hotel because, we were calling the hotel phone and he wasn't answering. So I called the hotel and told them to do a wellness check. They, for some reason, wouldn't help me out. I don't know but anyways, one of my friends ended up calling the hotel and telling them, unfortunately, my sister keeps calling. You guys are not doing a wellness check. I need you to go and check on the room. So my friend was able to get them to go knock on my husband's hotel door and do a safety check and make sure that he was fine because she explained that we're trying to call him, we're trying to text him, it's going to voicemail, his room phone is not working or he's not picking it up. So the front desk or whoever my friend talked to did go knock on the door. And it was answered. The door was answered. My best friend was waiting on my best friend slash sister, we call each other sisters. She was waiting on hold while the front desk lady went and knocked on the door. So the lady came back and she said, they're fine. They're fine. They are fine. Who's they? So, my best friend ends up coming back on and saying, well, she said they're fine. So at that point, after the door knocking, and me not being able to reach him, 20 minutes later, all of a sudden, I get a phone call from him. Mind you, this is all before, the whole Guy situation. So I wasn't doing any type of cheating at this time. Not that that makes it okay, so calm down. But yes, it was all when things were like really good, I thought. So he ends up calling me, and I answer the phone. Mind you, I know. So I'm like, who is they? Why did they say, or why did the front desk lady say that, they were fine? Who's they? Who are you in the room with? Who the fuck is they? So he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, explaining to him that I've been calling his phone. I called his hotel room phone. I'm telling him everything. So mind you, he didn't call me from his cell phone at this point. He called me from the hotel room phone. And I'm like, so what happened to your phone? He said it dropped in some water. There was a puddle, and I tripped in the puddle.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, how long will this take? I'm kind of in a rush.
Just 10 minutes.
Get out! 10 minutes?
Just 10 minutes.
Come on, don't play with me.
And you can stay in your car while we do it.
Get out! I can stay in?
And we'll even top off your fluids for free.
Hold on, you said for free?
Yep.
That's $0.
That's right.
Zero dinero.
No money.
Get out.
And we'll check your tire pressure too.
I mean, y'all are like...
Well-oiled machine.
I was gonna go there, but then it felt obvious. Take 5. Just stay in your car, 10-minute oil change.
It's one little brush that does it all with root touch-up, Calero. It's so me.
And the phone fell into the puddle. And now it doesn't work. I'm sorry, is it not? I believe it was like 2021. Is it not 2021? Are phones not like water resistant at this point? Confusion. But anyways, his phone fell in water, and he had his phone in ice, and that's why his phone was off, because it wasn't working. So I'm like, well, why weren't you answering the room phone? And he said, because the room phone doesn't work. It's messed up. Like, I really can't hear you right now. So, I haven't been trying to use it, but I fell asleep anyways. I didn't hear a ringing, but I know that, like, it was the biggest bullshit story. So that confirmed that what Guy told me was fucking true. And in that point, I'm putting the 2 and 2 together. So I flat out asked Guy, give me like some scenarios like that about the girl that I can more so tie together, because I can't go off of the Alabama situation when it comes to her. It can be any girl, but he's saying like, no, it was this particular girl. And you really need to check the DNA of her daughter. Don't believe her. And ask Anthony about it. And at this point, I felt like if I asked Anthony, I didn't know if he would tell the truth. I don't know. I didn't know if I would get the honest, response, because he's not in the right state of mind after what we just dealt with. But I texted him and I called him, and he wasn't answering the phone still. So I knew I wasn't going to get any update on Alabama story or on girl. We'll call her girl. I knew I wasn't going to get any update on her. And I couldn't go off of her bullshit because I didn't believe her. So I ended up just kind of letting him go, like, I stopped trying to call or text, because, like I said, they weren't going through. It was going straight to voicemail, so his phone was off. So I knew that I was putting too much effort into nothing at that point. But eventually, I got a message. Yeah, I got a text. Okay, so I'm only gonna do one video today, to add to what happened yesterday. So yes, I got a text message. It was Anthony. He did text me and told me to leave her alone. That's what the message said. That was it. He said, leave her alone. So I'm like, first of all, my heart hit the ground. It went
why is you
into my
taking up
ass.
for her?
And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't. Did she tell him? Did I I don't. What he said, leave her alone.
No, she told me.
So, anyways, at that point, I'm calling. I called him probably about 33 times, and he wasn't answering the phone. He didn't block me or anything. He just wasn't answering the phone. So I ended up getting in my car. I called one of my friends. I actually called one of my mature friends because of the type of person she is. She's like my voice of reason. So I call her and I'm like, hey, normally you're the one who talks me out of this type of stuff. So here's the scenario. And I told her everything that I thought was going on. And she didn't know the girl, but she's been around her before. So normally she's like, just leave it alone. It's not the type of situation, you want to give too much energy to. So just leave it alone. That's her normal response. Not this night. This night, she said, where are you? I'm going to come to you. She comes to me and she's like, oh, we're going to go over there. However, you got to get it together. You look like shit. So she ends up doing my makeup, getting me super pretty, because she's like, if you're going to confront her, you got to show her that he's leaving something worth leaving. Anyways, so we end up going in her car, not my car, because we wanted to do a little stakeout first. So we ended up going in her car to girl's house. And we were sitting out in the driveway. His car wasn't there. Her car was there, though. And the lights were on, like it was, she was home. So, we didn't leave. Like, we kind of just sat there because I'm like, I think he's there. I still think he's there. I don't know. Well, I mean, I still thought he was there. I'm talking like I'm in the situation still. But anyways, we sat there for probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and they both, I sat there for 45 minutes to an hour, and a DoorDash Uber driver came and pulled up. They both came out. So he was there. They both came out. They grabbed their DoorDash.